The Terror Factor, aka Scared to Death, from 1980. Sci-fi horror film about a synthesized genetic organism on the rampage.
If you think you're frightened by the unknown, wait until you face reality.
Her left leg was ripped from her body, and her hair was pulled back so hard that it broke her neck. People in this town are dying like flies.
Greetings, fiends. Today we're looking at The Terror Factor, aka Scared to Death, the 1980 sci-fi horror film about a synthesized genetic organism, or Syngenor, on the rampage in the sewers of Los Angeles. Directed by William Malone, starring John Stinson, Diana Davidson, and David Moses. The Terror Factor. For those of you who thought Horror Mike has gone insane, here's the cover from issue number 7 of Fangoria from 1980, advertising The Terror Factor as an upcoming summer release. The Terror Factor was changed to Scared to Death shortly before its release. Scared to Death plot. An ex-cop, now working as a hack novelist, is called out of retirement to help investigate a string of deaths that appear to be the work of a serial killer, but soon are revealed to be the work of the Syngenor, the synthesized genetic organism. Real sacrifice. Director William Malone had to sell most of his possessions, including his car and mortgaging his house, in order to raise enough money to make the movie, which cost $74,000 to make. Folks, that is an incredibly low budget even for 1980. However, Malone said the first sale of the film was to Malaysia for $90,000, and the film ended up grossing many times its cost, making it a success for Malone and distributor Lone Star Pictures. The grand premiere of Scared to Death. Lone Star Pictures, a Texas-based company, picked up distribution of the film and wanted the premiere to be in Texas. Director William Malone agreed and flew to Texas, only to be shocked that the premiere was actually at a drive-in theater. He recalled the event in a later interview. Quote, "Oddly enough, when the film was done, we were able to get a distributor, and the picture wound up playing the circuit of drive-in movies and all that stuff. In fact, our first premiere was at a drive-in in Dallas, Texas. It was very weird because they stuck us next to the concession stand. I was with Tony Janota, the girl who played the young, spunky girl in the film. And we were just sitting at this table and people would walk by going, "What are you guys doing here?" And of course, it was a very dark movie because it's a scary movie. And because it was at a drive-in, you could barely see it. Anyway, it was a very weird experience, unquote. William Malone, Monster Maker. Director William Malone decided to make a monster movie because it was the type of film that could get you a lot of production value for very little money. He had experience making monster masks as he previously worked as a designer at Don Post Studios, the famous mask factory. It took William Malone 3 months to sculpt and build the suit for the Syngenor monster, which he admits was inspired by H.R. Giger's design from the movie Alien from 1979. Me, Malone, and the 1979 Alien premiere. Malone was indeed inspired by Giger's alien designs from the film and attended the world premiere of Alien at the Egyptian Cinema in Hollywood. While your old pal Horror Mike was at the same premiere, I never saw Malone, but luckily he took some great photos of the vast alien props display that you are seeing right now. A few days later, some psycho arsonist torched the space jockey and other props, prompting the closure of the amazing alien display. Almost Springfield. Director William Malone said in an interview that actor-performer Rick Springfield was originally cast in the starring role of Tin Lonergan. However, he called up Malone the night before filming began, saying he couldn't be in his film because he was going to miss too many acting classes. Malone called up John Stinson, whom he remembered from an improv class, and begged him to be in the film. You could drive a yacht down that sewer. The atmospheric and very effective 40-foot sewer set was built in a yacht warehouse. Malone's monster movie experience. In a 2009 interview, William Malone spoke at length about his experience making the film. Quote, "One day, I just decided, or I realized I didn't have any connections in Hollywood. I didn't know anybody. And the only way I would get a movie made is if I sort of financed it myself, which is what I did. I mortgaged the house, I sold the dog, and all this stuff," he said, laughing. "And I made Scared to Death on a budget of, I think, about $74,000 then, which was dirt cheap even in 1979 when I started pre-production." So that's how it really got started. And the reason the movie was what it was, I thought to myself, what can I bring to the movie that I would have to go and spend a lot of money for? So I needed production value because I knew I'd have to sell it so I could get something out of it. So, obviously it was monsters. I was like, well, I'll make a monster movie. So I designed and built the Syngenor and concocted the story along with Robert Short, the effects guy. He and I wrote the story and we shot it in, I think, 4 weeks, which is actually a long schedule for that amount of money, unquote. I hope you enjoyed this look at the terror factor, aka Scared to Death. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you.